we're gonna do some pattern play. I'm gonna break that rack of 8-ball back there and we're gonna talk our way through it. But let's figure out some patterns, man. What do you say? Let's go. All right, I'm gonna do a head ball break this time. Center ball, try to pop it nice and firm. I want the cue ball to stay in the middle of the table if possible, but we'll see. Oh man, I think I didn't rack them real tight. There was some gaps there. They spread very sluggishly. All right, but let's see if we can run this out. Now this is gonna be a lot tougher because obviously look at, they're all cluttered up. Right off the bat, first thing I do is try to figure out if I want solids or stripes, right? So in this rack, I mean, it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other, I think. The solids may be a little better because there's more out in the open and you got this group of stripes right here. But with the stripes, you've got this ball and this ball that you can use to break this stuff out. If you go solid, you're gonna have to use this ball to break out the 7, and that 4 ball is in tough spot too. So I kind of like stripes better. Now the next thing I look at is an opening shot. Do I have a good opening shot on stripes? I'm not so sure I do. Yeah, I can't hit the 12. I can shoot the 15, but that don't help me. I could cut this 10, but where's my next shot if I cut this 10 in? If I cut that 10 in, I would have to put left spin and try to come around this way and hopefully end up with a shot. So I think because of my current situation, I would rather have stripes, but I'm gonna have to take solids. Stripes are too much of a gamble on getting my first 2 shots out of the way. So if I take solids, I can figure out the breakout on the 7 and get to the 4. And I think that's probably more likely that I'll be able to run out that way. Not guaranteed by any means. I'm gonna start with the 6, okay? And I'm gonna hit it soft. I'm gonna try to roll the cue ball right down in here. If I bump the 5, that's okay, because it should go off the 11 and towards that pocket. But my goal is to land on that 4. So you always want to get to your trouble balls first. The 4 and the 7 are my trouble balls. If I land here on the 4, then I can make the 4 with stun and come straight up into the 7, and hopefully that 5 stays in front of the pocket. So when I break out the 7, I'll have a shot on the 5. All sounds good in theory, but we got to execute. So let's see if we can do it. Nice and easy center ball. No English on this one. All right, the 5 stayed in front of the pocket just like we hoped. We got the angle on the 4. Now if we make this 4 with center ball, the cue ball should come off this rail and straight up into these, right? And I'm not real worried about getting hooked here because I've got the 5 to fall back on. Just go ahead and bump that 12 a little bit anyway. All right, now my table's open for the most part. The 3 is still a little bit tough because the 12's blocking it. So I've got to figure out what I want to do here and how I want to get out. Maybe I shoot this 5 first with a little left and bump the 12, but that might come, the 12 may come towards the 8 and block our 8 ball, excuse me, if I do that. So I think I got to try to get at the 3 a different way. I could shoot the 5 and just come out to here and shoot the 3 up table. And the 8, as long as I don't move it, goes right here in this pocket. So I think that's what we do, really. I mean, as far as being precise, this is a good way to try to get out. Nice and easy on this 5. We don't want to overhit it. All right, now we got the short side shape on the 3. We can shoot it up table. It's not the easiest shot in the world, and it's one you would like to avoid if you can help it, but sometimes your best out is to take one hard shot early so you can save yourself from like 3 or 4 hard shots later, right? Because by taking this harder shot now, I don't have to try to finagle the cue ball to come back to it, and it's going to save me a lot of trouble. But I've got to buckle down and try to make it. So I think maybe draw here. If I can come right here in between, or if I use follow, where do I go? If I use follow, where do I go? If I use follow, my cue ball is going to probably bump right in here somewhere and come up this way. The 7 does go in this corner. So I could do it either way, really. I think the follow is a little safer because if I draw, I've got to get perfect in this window. And if I'm not perfect, then I'm looking at a back cut on the 2, and that's not easy. But if I follow, I'm probably going to come off this rail and either bump the 2 or go past the 2, and either way, I'm gonna have a good shot. So I just gotta focus on making this with a little bit of follow, not super hard and definitely not soft because you'll skid. When you use top, you get a lot of skids, I feel like, if you hit it soft. You gotta hit it a little bit firm. All right, got that shot on the 7. It's not the easiest shot in the world, but this is what the table's given me. So this is the way we gotta go. All right, we'll make the 7 with just center ball and get the cue ball to come off this rail. And if our speed's good, we can shoot the 1 next. But honestly, I think I would rather save the 1 for last and shoot the 2. And then because once I shoot the 1, I'll be right in this area for the 8. So I make the 7 now and try to shape the 2. Center ball, not hard, nice and smooth, follow through, all the usual stuff. That was a little too soft, but it's okay. I wanted to hit that a little firmer. It's always scary hitting it that soft, but it's all right, it worked out. So I could shoot the 1 first, right? But I remember I want to finish on the 1 because it leads to the 8 so nicely. So I'm going to shoot the 2 first and just draw back a little bit. And this is, I mean, this is a little more dangerous to play it this way because if I draw it too hard, I could scratch. If I don't draw it far enough, I got a lot of angle and I can't get to the 8. So I've got a nice smooth follow through on this stroke and draw it where I want it to go. A little more angle than I want, but I think it'll work. I think it'll work. Yeah, more angle than I wanted for sure. I'm not sure I can hold the cue ball now if I make this. I'm not sure I can hold the cue ball in this area. So I may just try to hit it a little firm and bounce over here and back. Let me get down on it and see what the angle looks like. I may be able to hold it. I think I can hold it nice and easy. I'll put a little outside spin so it takes some speed off the cue ball and brings it out this way. But yeah, I just got to clutch up and make this shot here, right? Barely held it. Another roll or two, and I would have been hooked behind that 15. But now I got the 8 ball straight in, nice and easy. I even got the 11 there to help me if I need it, right? So this ball is almost impossible to miss. And I say almost because I'm sure I could figure out how to miss it. All right, that's breaking round number 1. Let's try it again. All right, so I didn't like the way that head ball break worked for me last time, so I'm gonna do a second ball break this time. Tables break differently all the time. This is my table, I play on it every day, and the break sometimes will work better from different areas just based on the day, and I don't know if it's the humidity, the amount of dirt on the felt, but don't be afraid to change your break spot if it's not working for you, you know? Don't try it 5 times before you change, just change it up. So second ball break, we're gonna try to hit this as full as possible, the second ball, and I wanna use bottom to bring it this way, and just a little spin so it doesn't go down table. I want it to come straight back over into the stack. A little bit of right spin, a little bit of bottom. That worked much better than the first one. All right, you remember from the first rack, the very first thing we look at here is what ball set do we want, right? So we look at the 11s blocked right there. So that tells me solids. The rest of the balls are pretty much open, both sets. The 6 will go past the 2, and obviously the 2's clear. The 7's a little tricky, but if I shoot the 1 first, then the 7 goes. And honestly, if I take solids, I don't have to deal with the 11 ball. Everything's pretty much open. It's all about just shaping balls. The 5's a little bit tricky, but I think if I start with the 3, a little inside English, and come up into here, I got the 5 right off the bat. So that is a little bit of a reach to shoot that 3, especially for me because I'm a short, fat guy. But it may be my best shot. I don't know. It might be too far. I may have to shoot that with a bridge, and I don't like that because my control isn't as good. So you know what we do first is we shoot the 4, send the cue ball back over here to a spot where we can reach it better, and then we can shoot that shot to come up here for the 5. So starting with the 4 is a little risky, right? I gotta try to run out if I'm gonna do this, because that means I open up my opponent's trouble ball, and I'm starting with it. So the whole point of these pattern plays is to try to run out, try to look at the patterns for a run out. If I were playing a real tight game with an opponent who is really good, I may not want to start here because I might not. It depends on my level of confidence. If I feel good about running out, then I'll start there. If I feel like there's a chance I may not get out, I won't start with that shot just because I don't want to open the table up for my opponent. But right now in this pattern play, we're going to start with it. That was just a touch of inside English, and unfortunately I fell pretty straight on the 3. I didn't want to fall straight. I needed the angle. If I'd have been here, it'd have been perfect because I needed the angle to get my cue ball up here off the rail. Now that it's straight in, I got to look for something else. And this is what happens a lot of times, right? You can figure out a pattern, but if you can't stick to the pattern, you have to be able to adapt and adjust, figure out a new pattern. And that's exactly what we have to try to do here. Sometimes you can't, right? Sometimes you just can't figure out a new pattern, or there isn't one. Ah, man, I really desperately want to shoot that 3 right now, but I know it's not right in my heart. In my heart of hearts, I know it's not right. So I got to take one of these hard shots. I either got to shoot the 1. I can shoot the 1 with top, send the cue ball here, here, and then back down through here. I could shoot the 6 with a little stun and get it over to the rail and back out. That's scary because if I put draw on it, I'll scratch. I could also shoot the 2, but this is a pretty straight shot. And if I shoot the 2, I don't see a good option for my next shot. So it's either the 1 or the 6. I don't like the 6, it's very uncomfortable. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of the 1 either, but I think the 1 is a little easier than the 6. This is that point in the match where you get that feeling of, oh shit, I don't know if I can finish this rack. And this is where you gotta just focus in and do your best. I mean, you're gonna miss shots, you can't control that, but you can't think about missing the shot. You just focus in and think about your stroke. Don't think about missing the shot, just think about your stroke, you know? And you may still miss it, you never know. But you're gonna give yourself a lot better opportunity. So I'm gonna use straight top and just focus on my stroke. Ah, see? Damn it, I knew it was close, but didn't get there. All right, let's take ball in hand as if we were now coming to the table as our opponent, and we'll see if we can run these stripes out, right? The stripes are pretty open, and this 9 ball is probably the toughest one to get to, so I definitely want to get to it first or early. So I think I start with the 8, or the 11, I mean, stop shot here, and then I can shoot the 9. Then from there, I can do whatever I want. I can either stop the cue ball here and shoot the 12 to the 14, come up in here for the 10 maybe. So once I get these balls out of the way, I can figure out where I want to go and the easiest out. But we'll start with this. Nice and easy, stop shot. Now I got to figure out what I want to do. So I think I stop it right here for the 12. Or maybe run it forward. That way I can shoot the 12 with a stop shot, shoot the 10 next, draw it back, shoot the 14, come off this rail, and then shoot the 15 into this pocket, and that'll leave me to the 8 right here. So let's try that. I just gotta roll. This is the touchiest shot because I can hook myself with the 5, or maybe I have the angle I can run into the 5. That would be even better. Let's see if I got that. Okay, I don't. So what I got to do is just hit this nice and easy and roll forward a little bit without hooking myself. I think I got it. I think I got it perfect. Yep, now I can stop shot this and set myself up for the 12 or the 10. So bottom, stop shot. I can even draw back a little bit, might even be better. I drew a little too much, I think. I still have this shot, but now it's a sharper angle. So the shape's gonna have a little bit tougher. I don't know what I'm saying there, but the shape is going to be a little tougher. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So what I can do first is I can shoot the 14 nice and easy, get my cue ball here on the 15, shoot the 15 with top and roll back up here for the 10. And then from the 10, I can shoot the 8 into that corner or that corner. But it's important that I get the right angle on this 15, because if I end up here and I'm off angle, then my cue ball wants to come this way, and that's gonna be difficult. So I've gotta make sure I get to this line or past this line. I need to be on the right, this line, or the right side of this line. If I'm on the left side of this line, I'm in trouble. So this one's important. And I can't hit it too hard either. So I've just gotta use right spin, hit it nice and easy. And I did the one thing I didn't want to do. I didn't get past my line, right? So now I'm in trouble. I mean, that's the reality of being an amateur right there. Sometimes we suck. So what I've got to do now is I've got to try to stun up into here, and I've got to try to make that cut into the side. As much as I don't want to, I've got to try. If I were brave, I would try to stun all the way up here and around to the back side of that too, so I could shoot the 10 all the way down. But that shot is way too difficult for a gentleman such as myself. So what we're gonna do is we have to jack the back of the stick up a little bit to do this. And we stun up for the side pocket. Now with here, I can just use top with a little right. The hardest part's the shot, because with top right, my cue ball should just come right over into here, perfect. So I've just gotta focus everything on making this shot. Yeah, see, the shot was the hardest part there. That's why I didn't want to shoot that shot. I needed to get, I messed up. Well, I messed up the shot before this one. I messed up by getting too thick of too thin of an angle on the 10, which made me change directions. But I still would have been all right if I would have hit this shot just a little harder and not gotten the bad angle. If I would have got the good angle on the side pocket, the out would have been easy, guys. You know, we're gonna do more of these pattern plays. I used to do them quite often. And I haven't done one in a while. I know a lot of people like them. I enjoy doing them. I learn from these ones just as much as you guys. So if you see something that maybe I could have done differently as far as patterns go, leave a comment down below. I read it and I learn from them as well. So man, I appreciate it, man. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.